This is a femur from one of my teaching skeletons, but I've just figured out I can also use it to rub my back, which is pretty cool. So I'm moving. It's been a busy few weeks. Today is going to be a big day. I have traveling to do. And I have a major case to work on. I also got some new art for my office. It's by a friend of mine. She's a tattooer out in Portland, Oregon. This is Medusa Slays. Rad. I'm gonna pack these. So I've been thinking about something I learned in med school, which was you got to get up and go. Oh my God, it's so cold. So they taught us that if you're ever worried about something, if you ever need to do something, if you have to think about something, whatever it is, just stand up, literally get out of your chair and go. It's just that there's so much inertia in medicine. So anytime a nurse said there was something going on with a patient, rather than just ask them what was going on, I'd stand up and go with them into the room. And I try to do the same thing now. I try to do the same thing when it comes to significant scene investigations. When it comes to really anything going on in the morgue, I try to actually see it with my own eyes. I can understand things better, and I get that experience so that I can help people when it happens again. Go outside, it's a little cold. Let's see. Oh my. Ricky, you slept here.
I did.
Why?
It's cold outside.
You sleep here?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I'm needed. I want to be dependable. And that's just how it goes.
Oh my God, I'm so late. Hope I make my flight.
This is John from Flight Tech. We'd like to welcome you aboard United Airlines Flight 480, non-stop service in Knoxville.
Plane can't go because of traffic. Oh, made it. Everything turned out to be okay, but it was very cold. It's the tundra. I think the snow is pretty. Waffle House. Now we have some exciting stuff going on in my office right now. We do have a few medical students and they're very excited to be part of the team. At least one of them is very interested in forensic pathology in particular, and so that's very exciting for me. I like working with medical students. And I wish I could be more excited about that, but right now I'm just so stressed out because I'm moving, and I'm moving again. I moved around a lot growing up, starting with the coast of California. I went up and down the coast until eventually, at middle school, I moved to Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I was there until I finished high school. Then I went down to Arizona for college, where I stayed all the way through medical school. I went to Chicago, where I did my residency in emergency medicine with some critical care in there. And then when I transitioned to pathology, I actually moved to Oregon. But before I did that, I moved back to Los Angeles, and that's when I was the voice for Sketchy Medicine. I even moved to Denmark in between. So Chicago to LA to Denmark, then back to Chicago, and then to Portland, Oregon. And from Portland, I went across the entire country to Florida, to Miami for my fellowship. And now I finally have found my, hopefully forever job down here in Texas. I hate moving, but there is at least one good thing that's come from this move. Aside from all this mess, I did find this. This is my old hard drive. And it has some of those vlogs on it from when I was in fellowship in Miami. And it's got one of the ones that I couldn't find before. So now at least I get to share that. Okay, so a lot of stuff happened this week. 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. A lot of stuff can change in 2 weeks. Last week I missed doing the vlog because I got really sick. It was sort of out of nowhere, but it's probably the sickest that I can remember having ever been. I had a fever of 103 for 4 days.
I have a frozen sock on my forehead because I don't have any washcloths. So in an unfortunate turn of events, I am very sick. I have high fevers, cough, body aches, arthralgias, and I was told that I have to come get COVID tested.
It turned out to be a lot more difficult than I expected.
So I scheduled an appointment, and here I am. My appointment was for 15 minutes ago, and they're just sort of sitting there. I don't know what's going on. No one's come to talk to us, but there's a lot of us.
And I learned that they don't like to do COVID testing when it's raining, but the problem is it seems to rain all the time.
Just because it's sunny when you leave doesn't mean you don't take an umbrella. It's a crazy way to start. Crazy way to start fellowship.
And this week that I'm currently in, we did the death investigation course. We got to do high-speed photography, which meant that we could take pictures. So we would shoot a gun, and we would take a picture, and we would catch the bullet in flight with the muzzle flash and the whole thing. And it was really interesting, and he explained how it's used in medical legal cases and in proving what type of gun and what type of ammunition can do what type of fire, and all of that was very interesting from a forensic perspective. And it was also interesting because it's just something that I've never had a chance to do before. We split a playing card in half. We took and mounted a Queen of Hearts playing card in a shotgun shell, and then lined up the gun and fired it. And it has to be in complete darkness because we use a high-speed flash. That are open. Fire. We popped a balloon. All right, do that again. And lights out. And they're open. Fire. The casing came out of the gun, and it ejected, and it hit me in the leg, and so I kept it. We had a class from a forensic odontologist, and this forensic odontologist is the one that actually took impressions of Ted Bundy's teeth and was part of the whole trial that got Ted Bundy sentenced to death here in Florida. And he wanted to show us what bite marks look like, so he asked for volunteers to get bitten. And he had a casted pair of Ted Bundy's teeth on what are essentially pliers, and he used them to bite some of the law enforcement officers on the back of their arms, and we could see the bruising and the teeth marks and be able to see that it leaves these crazy marks. And I asked him how it looks when you get bite marks on top of a tattoo, and he said, I don't know, let's find out. And then he bit me right here so hard.
I just got bit by a pair of Ted Bundy dentures. Let's see if it would bruise through the tattoo.
I thought it was interesting. It seems like it's a lot more difficult, at least in our one-time trial, to see bite marks when they're on tattoos. So that was cool. Interesting to learn. We also had lectures on asphyxia. Watching some of those videos was the first time that I felt like this might be harder than I anticipated emotionally. And I also am on call for the first time right now. I'm on call. Last night was my first night of call, and there were no scenes to go investigate. So I guess that's a good thing. It's good that there were no crime scenes. And I'm on call again tonight. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just so glad I'm not sick anymore.
Eyes and ears. Lights out. They're open. Fire.
I also think I'm going to start doing a series that's just sort of basics of forensic pathology. So I'll put that out soon too, hopefully.
I found out that my light can do this sort of squad car siren thing, which is pretty cool. Crime scene printer.
I'm also really hoping that I get to explore Florida a little bit more. I'm going to the Florida Association of Medical Examiners conference. God, is that next week already? I don't know. There's just so much to do all the time, but looking forward to going and exploring Florida a little bit more and seeing what I can see.